Alright guys, welcome back again to my channel. How many of us remember this video? Because I think I've posted it before on my channel, where somebody came out and said that P2B wouldn't have done anything different if he had won that last election. So now I have a message or a response to him. But before that, just listen to the video again. For those that have not watched it, just take a listen. I'm coming.
I'm in Nigeria. People have asked me, will this country, will P2B have done anything different if he won the election? I said no. He would have removed subsidy from day one also.
All right, that was somebody saying that P2B wouldn't have done anything different to. That's what he's saying. But first of all, take a look at this P2B old video when he was the new governor of Anambra State, what he said and what he did. Just watch it first of all, and then I'll show you guys what P2B has to reply on that video that you just watched now.
I would disagree with my predecessor that the civil servants are lazy and they are not doing their work. I would disagree with that they are not telling the executive what they want to hear. We make them to be like that. It is what we put in. The civil servants are like any other system. Since Anambra State was created, and I want to use that word, when I use it with emphasis. How many of the civil servants have been to training? Where did they train them? And we want them to produce magic. I sent 14 permanent secretaries to the UK recently. They have to be trained. They have to know this. I do read facts. If anybody can challenge that, P2B reads facts. When I say it was not there, it was not there, and I want to be challenged to do that. If I said there was no secretariat, there was no secretariat, but there was none. I did the foundation. Yes. That is the statement of fact. The design have been produced by my redesigned by my predecessor, but I was not secretariat.
So guys, you watched that video, right? This was a video of old people to tell that this man integrity did not start today because not the president. He started even before he became a governor in Anambra State, and he have maintained that nature. He have maintained that transparency till today. Then somebody is trying to compare him and saying that P2B did this or did that. Before again, I'd like guys to take a look at P2B response to that video of Moka saying that P2B would have done anything different. Let me read out this tweet from somebody by name Omo. He said, why I supported P2B in last election and will again support him in the next election. My support for P2B isn't about hype. It's based on lived experience and years in the development sector. I've seen enough to know that true lasting development doesn't come from roads or bridges alone, but from building people. The hype of being called Mr. Infrastructure is good for politics, but building people is better. Building roads or chasing the Atlantic Ocean might look impressive, but it's educated, healthy, and skilled citizens that drive real growth. Infrastructure help, but it needs human capital to drive it and make it more sustainable. As governor, Obi got this. He aligned with the Millennium Development Goals. He overhauled schools, returned missionary institutions, paid off debt, invested in healthcare, trained teachers, empowered youth, protected the vulnerable, and still left billions in savings. His budgets were open and we are people focused. He wasn't there to settle the boys. Tinubu, on the other hand, prioritized infrastructure and political consolidation. His governance in Lagos was about building visible projects, not people. The goal, power, not sustainability. His approach to governance is what I call the John Soke model, a model that creates short-term buzz and hype, but leaves long-term inequality and decay. Same approach happening to Nigeria now. Let's be honest, in Lagos, education and health reforms were weak during Tinubu's era. Infrastructure projects became feeding bottles for cronies. Alpha Beta's grip on IGR is just one example of how public wealth was cornered. Lagos has Nigeria's most opaque budget process, and no freedom of information request has ever cracked it. Obi's model isn't flashy, but it's sustainable. He attacked the roots of poverty, poor education, weak health care, and youth empowerment. Tinubu's model preserves elite dominance, not national upliftment. Countries that developed, as P2B constantly remind us, like Singapore, China, Bangladesh, did so by investing heavily in human capital, not just by building skyscrapers and flyovers. Nigeria cannot industrialize with poor schools and crumbling clinics. Obi is not perfect, but he is honest, transparent, and understands what Nigeria needs. Even his critics admit he has conquered greed. He is a leader, not a little chaser, a title chaser. He would have been a real antidote to Buhari's years of waste and decay, and not like those clowns who only want the perks of office. And if he contests again in the next election, he will have my vote again. So let me let you guys take a look at that P2B's response to that first video, that he wouldn't have done anything if he had won the election, and I'll be to get in a minute.
That is there today. How many years has it stayed? 2 years. And you could see where we are. Look at the turn of things in 2 years. That means that you can change things in 2 years. If I was there in 2 years, Charles, that you would have seen considerable change. In critical areas, I would have tackled corruption head on. I would have reduced cost of governance. And you will see it. People will feel it. And those monies invested in critical areas. Our primary health care today, I told you, 70% are not functional. And we spent over 35 billion in conference center. Which conference? Who is coming for the conference? You need to invest your money properly. Just you have been seeing borrowed money invested in critical area. We, a country in Bangladesh with 148,000 square kilometers of land, is producing about 60 million metric tons of rice. And us, with over 6 times that size of land, cannot do 10% of that. Charles, there's room here. You talked about devaluation of Naira. There's nothing wrong in devaluation. I would have done something. I would have allowed the Naira to float. But I would have done it in an organized manner. There will be productivity. The idea of devaluing your currency, allowing it to float, to be cheaper, is that you have productivity so you can export, so people can come and buy. But when you don't have productivity and you devalue your currency, it's double whammy, because you have nothing to sell. So I would have injected money in productivity. Today, nobody is producing anything. Somebody told me a few days ago, said, oh, they've removed there's no more tax or this, or some of the manufacturing inputs and everything. And all. I said, no. How can you manufacture? How can you do business when your interest rate is over 40%? Yeah, one of the biggest costs of manufacturing today, cost of production today, is interest rate. Just nobody borrows money at over 40% to do a business that is straight. You can only borrow it. It's only government that is borrowing that amount of money at that cost. So you need to do the right things, and you can do it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Your Excellency, and I have read fathers, brothers, and sisters, and leaders of our ethnic nationalities. Let me stand on other APC reports. Mine is a very short one.
Oh, sorry.
Start to the family, because I'm a member of the family. I say to you, our father lived well. I'm sure everybody here who have listened wish we can be celebrated like this. We're here to honor a man who lived a life of courage, a life of service, truth, integrity, and commitment. When I looked at his life, I remember Albert Einstein's position. Don't live a life of success. Live a life of value. Papa lived a life of value. For those of us, I met him in this my journey of contesting election. But I can tell you, in the last minutes, Papa will always say to you, come, what is the question on this? And I say, Papa, this is APC business. No, I want you to explain it very well. How is it going to affect the people of Nigeria? He cared in detail for the poor. It doesn't matter whether you want to do it in the north, in the east, or west. How is it going to affect the people? I recall when people were saying my manifesto is being delayed. Where is the manifesto? Where is the manifesto? And he called Pastor Tommy, and Pastor Tommy said, Peter is the one delaying it. Every day, so he knows, every day we're arguing. Peter will say, no, don't put this. He called me and said, you are the one delaying it right there. I said, Papa, everything they write here, somebody have to implement it. So I want to be sure it's what I'm going to implement. Otherwise, when they go, everybody will say, this is your manifesto. This is your manifesto. He said, I agree with you. I said, because that's to be implemented. This is not a piece of paper. Somebody has to implement it. And Papa, the one that went before in Anambra, what I said I did. Even when it caused strike, some for 1 year, some for more than that, and I did it. So I wanted to write what he said, I agree with you. But he went down to every detail, which is what is lacking. So I'm sure, like the prayers and the last speakers have said, wherever they are, Nigeria will be better. There's great people in Nigeria. Today I was discussing with my brother Femi. I said, when I watch the greed in this country, I say greed must have limit, or people are sick. Why will anybody at our stage looking for money again? What is he going to use it to do? To do what? To buy new house, or buy new car, buy new what? Are you going to marry a new wife? Even more troublesome. Some women, because when you have 3 or 4, the trouble increases. For you, you have to show love. Can you show love to 3, 4, 5 people at a time? I don't know. For those who do it, I wish them well. So for me, Papa lived a great life. Let's continue to celebrate him. Let's not stop here. To the families, you have a child. To all of us, the only lasting legacy, the way we keep his legacy, is that we continue to do those things he lived and died for. And that is fairness, equity, doing the right thing, caring for the poor in our midst. May God Almighty, who called him grant him eternal rest in his kingdom. May he grant the family and all of us the fortitude to bear his irreplaceable loss. God bless you all. Thank you.
People are not just supporting Peter because they want to help him. They are supporting him because they've seen what a true leader should be, what a true leader is required. Because this man is a spotless man. Trace him back to when he was governor for 8 good days. You cannot find even a single AFCC case. Other governors leave office, and then the next thing we hear that EFCC are tracing him that he stole sources of money, but you never and can never hear it from P2B. He left office for over how many years now? EFCC have no charges against him. This man left billions of naira in Anambra State and left office. other governors will go with all the money, so they have something to lie on, because most of them don't have anything doing other than politics. And that's why P2B is the man, because this man don't care about the money politics. He cares about the money that he can use to make life of people better. This man has spent his own personal money, not twice, not once. All those schools in Nigeria have benefited from P2B. And tell me how many of them have benefited from Tinubu government. Tell me anybody that benefited from APC government apart from the politicians. And those ones that even come out tomorrow, come out and say that Tinubu is the worst person to be the president, tomorrow again they are coming out and say that Tinubu is the best because they've been bribed. You cannot bribe P2B. So I'll see you guys in my next video. I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay tuned, guys.